Hey everyone, I'm at the lower lines today in Medway. This is going to be a nice little video for all of you. I'm literally I'm in between both of them at the moment, these two searchlight batteries. But you're going to see, or you're going to know a bit more about the history, and then we're going to visit them. So see you on the other side, yeah? Bye! Seesaw searchlights, especially the two you're about to see in Medway, might be some of the most rarest pieces of military Victorian era hardware in the world. In fact, no complete examples have survived. Only 3 other concrete emplacements can still be found, 2 in the Isle of Wight and 1 in New Zealand. So the fact that there are 2 in close distance makes them even more historically important, especially for Medway. And here's why. Because seesaw searchlights were an early electric powered searchlight, first developed in the late 1800s. They were designed to be used in conjunction with the coastal artillery and also use in submarine mining. So, how did they work? Well, the searchlight consisted of an electric carbon lamp capable of a strong beam for targeted illumination. Because the bulb was so vulnerable to enemy fire, it was protected in a recessed emplacement, whilst a large mirror attached to the end of a seesaw pivoting iron beam reflected the beam across the water to the target. However, what makes what you're about to see even more unique is that the first searchlight you will see was being used by the Royal Engineers as a more experimental type, focusing on a hydraulic use, basically as a vertical lift mount, meaning that the light could be used to project over the parapet. The second searchlight you will see was the searchlight that was in a more common type, but they became out of use and abandoned by 1899 because of their difficult to operate use. Hello everybody, welcome to Phoenix History again. Welcome to something really cool, I think it is. I mean, it's been here, well, I mean, like, you know, in terms of it's been cleaned up and tidy for quite a while now. This is part of the lower lines in Medway, and they've tried to sort of do this sort of trail walk where you can sort of see lots of interesting bits of history, but for this video I'm just going to concentrate on this. Well, there's 2 of them, so this is going to be one and there's going to be another one. This is part of a 19th century or 1800s really rare experimental searchlight. Can you believe a searchlight? I tells you. But it's a swing one, so the idea was that they sort of create this sort of swing, literally look like a swing being pushed down, and up would be the mirror, which would reflect the light to make it bigger, in layman's terms. But how amazing! Yeah, it's a nice bit of history, and if you can sort of see, you can see traces of this one, but the other one is in better condition, which, like I said to you before, I will take you down to. And it is absolutely interesting. Truly fascinating. And it's nice because you may live in Medway, and you may not know about this, but you may know the Lower Lines Park or part of the Lower Lines Park and didn't realise that it comes around. Now, if you're aware of this, it might be because of HMS Wildfire being literally over there. I can throw it. I can throw a stone. It's very important. I will probably eventually talk more about that at some point in my own personal history of that place. Yeah, won't go into that. But yeah, another story for another day. But there you go. So we're going to now go on to the second one, which is in way better condition. And there are birds and everything that are having a go at each other in the trees. There you go. Hopefully that came out on camera. But lovely bit of history. But like I said, until you see the second one, you get a better idea of it. Unfortunately, oh dear. Oh no. What's going on? Very angry birds today. But yeah, fantastic bit of history. Oh, where are you? Oh, you're in there. Yeah, you're having a go. All right. Not on me. I think they're just being a bit territorial. Anyway, I'm gonna get out, and then I'll see you at the other one. Okay. Bye. Okay. So behind me is the other searchlight emplacement, the one that they actually sort of wasn't a prototype, really. And we're gonna have a look. As he swings. So yeah, look, it's amazing. Amazing bit of history that probably a lot of you know. I mean, like I said, we're not far from the college and university campuses. We're actually sort of sandwiched in between them, really. And because it is part of the Lower Lines Park, or Heritage Park, I suppose, which I've got to say, and I will say this as I traverse these steps, Medway Council have done a fantastic job of really doing an amazing part of preserving their history, which is why, for me now, my primary focus is to focus on stuff that may not be here in, say, 10 or 20 years' time due to redevelopment. And I know that there's a lot of other people out there who have got that same sort of passion, especially in the Medway context. Now, I'm not necessarily local to Medway, so as long as they're preserving it and documenting it for the right reasons, then that's the most important thing. This will be here for a while. This isn't going to go anywhere. I mean, they've obviously, this is one of these places that they've realised of its importance because of the fact that it is rare. It's kind of one of these, I guess it's kind of one of these places that, yeah, I could rant about the fact that we're losing all our history, and you know, it's important that we still keep these places. It's a shame that obviously people have been using it for yeah, you know, everything, but it's still in relatively good condition, and I don't mind, you know, I don't mind that there being people using it for that a little bit. I do, but what I'm trying to get at is that you can't stop everybody, you know, and it's not really fair, you know. We're only humans. We just go out and go to these places. I mean, we've all been young once, and we've all probably gone to places that we shouldn't have gone, and probably camped or picnicked anywhere. So I mean, like I said, you know, we're all guilty of it. But I think really the message that I'm trying to sort of get across is that if councils could just sort of understand the importance of not necessarily seeing places for just financial purposes, but for the fact that in generations we are losing our history. That's really what the main purpose of it is. And just places like this, where you can, I mean, this is easily accessible. You know, this is part of the lower lines. The idea that you can take your kids, it can be a family, you can walk around these places. But what you don't want to see is when you're walking around, you don't want to see like bits of glass or anything else like that. You don't want to see it, you know. So we've got to try and do our best, you know. But I do applaud Medway County Council. I think actually, to be fair, through most councils, they have an extremely tough job because they've probably got, in Kent especially, some of the most incredible bits of history because of its tie with Chatham Dockyard. You know, I mean, Christ, you could, I mean, in places where you could just even take your family, so Rochester Castle, Upnor Castle, Fort Amherst, you know, places where you can easily access these, and history is really like incredible, you know. And you've got places like this which you can still take your family to, and then behind me you've got places like HMS Wildfire, which is probably for the purest of explorers. But it's just nice when you do see councils really sort of understand that obviously they go and things have to be really developed. I get that. I get the point of like we're a human civilization, we move on, but if we can just preserve certain snippets, that's the most important thing, you know. And I think a place like this, well, the whole lower lines is just a great sort of, it's a great sort of place to sort of just be reminded of it, you know. So yeah, if you're from Medway County Council, hopefully you're watching this, and I just say this as a historian, explorer, lover of stuff. I think you do a fantastic job, really, under the circumstances, and you've recognised your importance to your history, and that's the most important thing. So it gives people like me, and just anybody, the opportunity to come down here, especially on places like this where it's, you know, you can bring your kids and you can sort of just go, God, look, you know, do you remember what, look at that, that's really cool, you know. And it's a shame about the signpost on this one, or the information board, but I've seen worse. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that video. I'm sorry for that mini rant, but it's something I'm really passionate about, is to obviously make history more accessible. As of filming this, they've started to open up more of Fort Amherst. They've cleaned it up a little bit, which is sort of near Riverside, and I may do a video on that at some point. Again, but I would probably feel like I'd be sort of saying the same sort of principle, is that yes, we're talking about the history of it, but it's the importance that this council have literally just reopened and cleaned out and understood the importance of their history. So yeah, again, it's it's one of them things. But again, final look at this long old midweek video. This, will it be a midweek video? Who knows? But amazing bit of history, just incredible. And you can see where the searchlight would have been smack bang in the middle, with the projection coming through, the swing coming out, looking down, beaming across. And it would have looked out on here. It's hard to tell now, but it would be a dip facing out into the Medway, which is yonder. Again, it's hard to sort of say that because we're sort of in the distance. But yeah, incredible. And looking up and around, I mean, yeah. Okay, right, no more words of Phoenix history. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you all very soon. Take care for now, everybody. Bye bye.